Used to be dead down. House like jet now. We don't play radio. Don't master flicks now.
What's good, y'all? It's your boy CrayG. Welcome back to another Division 2 video. Now this is gonna be my first build for Title Update 6. I am gonna be making other builds as well as a SMG build that I got in the works, so that's for a different video another time. But let's get into the build, man. I am extremely proud of this build. It's so pretty, as you guys can see. I am running a Berserk AR build right now, as you guys can see, with 2 True Patriot, 1 Providence, 1 Fenris, and 2 Gila. Now I'm gonna tell you why I went with this combination. I am using the Police M4. I know everybody's using the FAMAS right now because of the high RPM, but the Police M4 has just a little bit less RPM with a little bit more damage, so it kind of balances out that way. As you guys can see, my base damage for my M4 is 23.7k. I have 8 offensives and 14 defensives, and like I said, we're gonna get into that. 205k health with 270k armor. Before I continue, I know a lot of people are gonna be like, oh well, I have more health and more armor, I have more this, I have more that. This is the way I like to run it. This is the way that I'm comfortable with running it, and this is more tailored to my playstyle. If there are ways that you can run the build or you found how to make the build better, then by all means you can go ahead and, you know, do it your way, but this is just the way that I like to run it and the way that I have it built. Starting with a mask, I have a True Patriot mask, which gives me health and hazard protection. You need hazard protection for surely because of this, you know, meta that's going on right now, the Negotiator's Dilemma and the Stinger Hive and all that stuff. So it's good. People are running around with like 100%. I don't know if I have 100%, but I think I have just enough to where it doesn't hurt me that much. But yeah, man, I have 21k health and 34% hazard protection with an offensive mod slot, which gives me 1.5% weapon damage, 4% AR damage, and 2% LMG damage, which really doesn't matter because I'm not running an LMG with this build. I just did this for the red slot. And then my other True Patriot piece, which is my holster, which gives me 8.5% health, 26,000 health, and I have 2 more offensive mod slots here with 1.5% weapon damage, shotgun damage, and 3% AR damage, and another offensive mod with weapon damage, assault rifle damage, and SMG damage. Now the reason why I went with these 2 is because the 2-piece True Patriot gives you that extra 10% armor, and I was looking to get as much armor as I could with this build along with balancing out with my health, so it's kind of, you know, goes together like that. And I chose these because I wanted something that gave me red slots. I wanted a bunch of offensive slots on this build. I didn't want any yellow slots at all. You know, I didn't want any utilities. I just wanted straight red slots so I can find ways to get as much damage as I can. As you can see, I only have reds on my chest piece, my gloves, and my backpack, but we're gonna get deeper into it. Now, my chest piece is a Providence chest piece. I know this is kind of weird because the skill power, it doesn't really go towards anything, but this is the best chest piece that I have seen, in my opinion, that goes with this build. Sorry, I know you guys can hear my son screaming in the background. I got 15% weapon damage on this chest piece, 4,000 armor, and 50k health that I actually wrote on there. Berserk, and then I have a defensive and an offensive mod slot. My defensive slot, I have, you know, a health percentage, health and armor on there, and then I have another weapon damage, AR damage, and damage to armor offensive mod. Going into my backpack here, I have a Gila Guard backpack, or a Gila Guard, however you want to pronounce it. I just say Gila. A Gila Guard backpack, which also I have 2 pieces of Gila, so I get the 5% armor and then I get 20 more percent hazard protection. So I guess all around I got like 59% hazard protection. Not perfect, but not horrible. You know what I mean? It's better than having 0. On my backpack, I have 5.5% health, 19,000 health, and 10.5% weapon damage with hardened and efficient. Like I said, I went with hardened because I was trying to get more armor, as much armor as I could without having to roll big armor on, you know, my chest piece or my backpack. So efficient because I use a lot of armor kits. I like to chain my armor kits with my heals, and we're gonna get to my skills in a second. Now this also has an offensive and a defensive slot. For my defensive mod, I have a 5% total armor mod with health regen and armor, and then my offensive, I have a 3% AR damage, 1.5% weapon damage mod. Now like I said, I'm getting a lot of AR damage from these mods alone, and plus of the big rolls on my backpack. You see I got 10.5% here, and then I got another 15% here, and then going into my gloves, these are Fenris gloves, which gives me the 10% AR damage. Then I have another 11% AR damage rolled on these gloves with 3,000 health and 5% weapon damage from devastating. So altogether I'm getting about 26% weapon damage from these gloves alone because of the Fenris bonus and the AR damage roll and devastating. I also have on these Gila knee pads, which give me 20,000 health, and I run cloaked, and these have 2 defensive mod slots on there with health, armor, armor percentage mod, and more armor. Like I said, I'm getting most of my armor from my mods and from, you know, that one talent that I have on my backpack. Now, I'm running cloaked because it says when your armor is depleted, nearby enemy skills are disrupted for 10 seconds, can occur once every 30 seconds. That's good to have. I mean, because, you know, when I'm running a build like this, my armor is going to be gone and I rely on Berserk anyway. So once my armor is broken, your skills are gone. I get to melt you with my Berserk and I have a little good amount of health for you to have to run through, you know? No, I'm not running clutch at all. You don't need clutch. You really don't need clutch. Clutch is really strong in this update, but it's not a true necessity for your build. You don't need it. You can run it, but there are other ways to be successful in PvP and there are other things for you to run. So like I said, going into my weapon, I have 23.7k base damage on my police M4 with Ranger and Allegro. Now the reason I went with Ranger instead of, you know, Breadbasket, you can go with Breadbasket because it'll tie hand in hand with the Nemesis. You'll get more headshot damage. The reason I went with Ranger instead of Breadbasket, which you can tie in with the Nemesis to get more headshot damage, because Breadbasket, I believe if I have an AR with Breadbasket on it, you get landing body shots as a stack bonus of 50% headshot damage. So that can tie in with the Nemesis as well, which gives you an extra 15% when it's holstered, and that'll be good. But I went with Ranger because I've been playing distance a lot because of stinger hives and stuff like that. Now I've been playing distance and I've been beaming a lot. So, and you get weapon damage for every 5 meters you are from your target. So that just kind of ties into the build as well. And with me playing distance, I needed to run some optimal range and accuracy. So as you can see, I got my ACOG, which gives me 20% optimal range, which means I can carry my damage for longer ranges. And then I run accuracy so that when I'm beaming from a long distance, my bullets are more accurate and more straight on my target. So everything that I'm running kind of ties into itself. And I'm running double heals here. I have, you know, the healing seeker and then the healing hive, just for a little bit of survivability. You know, when I'm running around trying to get my health back, I can just pop the hive down and then pop my seeker. And the fact that I'm running survivalist makes it to where I still can, you know, get a 50% healing mod and a 80% skill haste mod to where I get it back fast. So the healing is not super horrible, and both of these connected together, tied in with my armor kits, it's some pretty decent healing for the damage that I'm actually putting out with this build. So this is pretty much the build, man. Like I said, 23.7k base damage on the police M4, and that's really high if you think about it. Just to give you a taste of like the damage that I am putting out with this build, we can go over to my stats. I get 50% AR damage bonus and 38% all weapons damage bonus. So that means I'm getting 88%. So I'm getting an extra 88% weapon damage for my AR. So that's why I'm putting out these numbers. As you can see, with my Eagle Bear is at 27.5k, my AK is at 30k. I got a G36 at almost 25k. My P4 is at 25. This MK16 is at 26.7k. So these ARs are hitting pretty hard. Now I could use different ARs that obviously hit harder on this build, but the RPM is really low, and I think this patch is all about having high RPMs and being able to put more bullets into your target faster. So that's the reason why I went with the police M4. I was using the police M4 back in like Title Update 3. It was like one of my favorite guns. So I'm glad that it's finally viable again and able for me to use and run around with. So I appreciate you guys watching the video. Drop a like and hit that sub button if you enjoyed, man. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Deuces.